Can you imagine somebody not only indulging in his sexual activities to a way that is most disgusting, to a point that is most disgusting, and indulging in all kinds of food and delicacies, a man, a priest, who drinks 7 liters of wine every day, recorded. He didn't exactly live the life of a second Saint Paul, as some Protestants call Luther. He cursed Christ. He cursed Our Lady. He cursed the virginity. He cursed the state of celibacy. He cursed the Pope, the papacy, the Catholic Church, the Mass, the sacraments. He said that he is receiving his inspirations from the devil. He claimed of having had apparitions from the devil. He said that sometimes he only feels comfortable when he thinks about the devil instead of our Lord. He said to his so-called wife, with whom, of course, he lived in concubinage, he said, when one night, Catherine Bora, who was somewhat less guilty than he was, they were doing a late evening walk, and she said, "Isn't that sky beautiful?" In German, the word sky and heaven is the same word, Himmel. So, in German, it would have sounded as if she had said, "Isn't that heaven beautiful?" Luther looked at her gloomily and said, this is recorded, he admitted this later on. He looked at her gloomily and said, "Yes, Kathy, but not for us." He knew where he was going to go. Knowing that he had lost everything. He was asked, for example, "Martin, do you really believe everything you teach?" He said, "No. Who does?" He knew he was lying. He knew he couldn't prove anything he said. He destroyed the society in Germany. He was the one who created the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648, one of the most cruel and disgusting wars in history, if you study the details. Incredible. He was long dead by then, but it was Protestants against Catholic. The whole 30 Years' War was about that. Martin Luther died the way he lived. On the evening of February 17th, 1648, he, as usual, of course, went to bed stone drunk. He was found in the early morning, and contrary to some Protestant reports, there is other reports at the time that say they tried to revive him. He was found hanging on a rope in his bedroom. Martin, the great second Saint Paul, as some call him, Martin Luther, who destroyed Christendom in Germany, who lived like what he called Christ, look up that word in the dictionary, who lived lying, cheating, cursing, who substituted prayer with curse, celibacy with filth, who substituted any kind of virtue with any kind of vice, died in despair. Satanists always die in despair. He died hanging himself. He took the rope, hanged himself, and went to hell. Now, I mentioned before that in 1974 there were some people already who tried to have Martin Luther canonized. In 1974, a priest in the Austrian province of Styria, which is one of the 9 Austrian provinces, near to the capital of that province, Graz, you can look it up at the map, started to publish a series of articles explaining to you many things that I have explained to you today. And some sinister forces that I don't want to go into decided to make that man shut up. So they went to see him and told him, "You are not going to interfere with our movement to have Martin Luther canonized." That priest said, "Okay, I agree with you, but I want you to stay here until tonight. That's the only condition I ask." The priest went into intensive prayer, grabbed his book of exorcisms, and after many hours of prayer, many hours of exorcism, many hours of intensive concentration on the point, that man went back to the room where these people impatiently were waiting for him. And he sat down with them. That's all he did, and there was a knock on the door. These people said, "Come in." Nothing happened. The priest said, "Come in." The door opened. It was a glowing red, charcoal glowing red, Martin Luther chained between 2 demons. These men never asked again that these articles cease to be published. The priest finished a series of articles, and these are the source of my information today. He, however, if the story is true with this priest, or if it is not true, he wrote his articles quoting reliable historical sources. The church usually does not go into details if somebody's in hell or not. If you read just that one book, Facts About Luther, and if you only believe 50% of what I said today, then you only get a glimpse at that monster called Martin Luther, who tried to destroy Christians.